Hello there everybody, welcome back to our LLG live lessons. I'm back on the website, we're streaming, the gremlins have been fixed and we're back as normal for our regular slot of coaching to get the game going over these next few weeks. If you're anything like where we are, the weather's pretty grim outside at the moment, so perfect opportunity perhaps to get the kitchen wedge out and work on some chipping, which is tonight's thing. So tonight I'm going to do several drills to help you out with your chipping at home. I feel like chipping is the one area where if you can get confident in, it sort of spreads throughout the game. You know, in the past I've really struggled with my chipping around the greens, and that's put pressure on my approach play because I really want to miss the green in case I have to chip it. You know, or I end up putting from too far off the green because I wasn't confident in my technique. So if you are at home thinking I really could do some chipping tips, this should be a great session for you, and I've got some nice drills lined up that you can do in the house, including a very creative one with a kitchen roll tonight. So we'll come to that in a second. But first of all, just before we get going, just a little recap on the setup with chipping. So the key things to remember when you're chipping, certainly things that I coach. I see a lot of people with the chipping. For me, put the ball a little bit too far back in the stance, with the hands too far forward. If you are guilty of this watching at home, just know that can lead to some real problems with the sharp here, the golf club, digging into the ground, particularly in winter. So just have a read out on the setup. I like to see the ball in the middle of the stance, hands just slightly ahead of the golf ball. We don't want to get too far forward, just slightly ahead, and then the weight about 70% into my left leg, just here like this. Okay. And then notice how narrow my stance is as well. That's something that's really helped my game. I think a lot of people stand a bit too wide when they're chipping. That encourages a bit too much weight movement, which you really don't need. So, you know, keep that stance with nice and narrow, 70% here, and that's a great setup for your chipping action. Okay, so that's a little recap on the setup. We have done a setup video before chipping, so you can go back in the members area and check them out from previous lives. But that's set up for the chipping. Now, I'm going to jump straight into this drill here, which I think is possibly the best chipping drill you can do at home, and you can test as well to see if your chipping technique is sound with this drill. So, when people set up to golf ball with chipping, this is the sort of position they set up with. So, similar to a normal shot, hands quite low, shaft angle normal. But what that does is, and what they do as well, is when they're chipping, they tend to get the club a little bit too far inside, so it comes around the body. Now that causes real difficulty with the strike, because as that club is going around the body, the heel of the club here can often catch the ground. So if I let that club come inside here and come through, I'm going to hit the ground and thin it across the green. So this little drill I've done here with kitchen roll, so all done, you can set this up at home. I've got a kitchen roll and I've got a stick just in the middle of it. You can use a garden stick if you haven't got a pointer. And the idea is with this, guys, if you watch my setup, you want to try and mirror the angle of the shaft here with the stick and the toilet bowl. So you can see at home there, the shaft angle and the stick are quite parallel. Okay, this would be too low and this would be too high. So just look when I chip, look how much closer I stand to the ball, and that mirrors the stick and the toilet roll. Okay. Now we can develop this one step further. If I was to put a golf ball in play here, so get the shaft angle up, as we just said. Now the drill I want you to try at home, everyone, is try and take your chipping stroke, but try and miss the toilet roll and the stick. And to you at home, that will feel like the club's going out way over there somewhere probably, right in front of you. But what it does, that enables you to get some downward strike on the golf ball and get a nice lift. Okay? So if you set that drill up at home and you hit the toilet roll, then you know you're coming too far inside. Okay? Get the shaft angle up, these little chips around the green, get the shaft angle stick, keep it in front, and then we can move through and try and get it somewhere. I've got 5 zones in this chipping net, so I'll keep trying to get it in different zones, but as long as you get a good strike on the ball, that's what we're aiming for. So that's a cracking drill. I want you to try and set up in the garden, set it up in the front room, keep it in front of you, and that will transform your chipping strike. Okay, too many people, hundreds of people I see, get it right in there. So let's give that a go at home and see if you can work on that. The next drill I want to work on and talk about is trying to keep the hands quiet. So this is a familiar thing you might see with chipping, and you might be guilty of it at home. When you play the shot, this happens here. So the hands become too active, and what we're doing is we're trying to get underneath the ball by flicking the wrist. Good chip of the golf ball, use the body, and the hands are very quiet. So the two little tips I want you to try at home again. In previous videos and tuition, tips from your coaches, you'll have been told to hold the club with two knuckles showing on your left hand. Now, what's helped me with my chipping is actually weakening that hand so you can just see one knuckle. And by weakening that left hand, it secures the golf club in your grip a little bit more, and it actually encourages you to turn more with the body. So I want you to just show one knuckle on your left hand, give that a go at home. And then to test to see if your body's turning, I want you to get a alignment stick here, and I'm going to put it through the belt buckles of your trousers, just so the majority is coming out of the left hand side. And as you step to the ball here, you'll see out the corner of your eye if your hip turns on the way through. So if your hips stay very static, you're going to see no movement in them hips. Whereas if you watch my chipping action here, just watch on the way through particularly how much my hips turn, how much I'm moving that stick away to the left. So if I do that again here, so weight on the left side, shaft angle nice and high, back and through. So just see at home, are your hips turning out of the way? That's exactly what we need to do for good chipping. And notice there, guys, how quiet my hands are when I do that. Okay, if I keep my body turning, I'm going to get a good strike on the golf ball. So test to see if your hips are turning with that stick. And then another little pointer as well, people ask is how to get more, how to improve the strike when I'm chipping, and how to get more height. So in terms of height of the golf ball, I always say keep things fairly simple. In your golf bag you've got potentially 2, 3 wedges. You might have a pitching wedge, 4 wedges, sand wedge, you might have a low wedge, which is the most lofty one, you might have a gap wedge. So I would establish the same technique and just change the clubs, okay? So if I've got my pitching wedge here and play a little shot just towards only a short distance inside, if I play a normal chip shot with this, you can see here that went into that bottom compartment. Now if I flip to my lob wedge, my 60-degree club, and play the same technique, so keep the club outside the stick, which is a good drill, and then go through. You can see straight away I moved up from this zone to the bullseye one. Okay? So I always say, don't always, just take one club. I think when people get around the green, they've almost got the pitching wedge out before they've got to the ball. So know that you can pitch with chip with sand wedge, pitching wedge, lob wedge, and that'll give you a little more height on the golf ball. It's a great little drill. And then in terms of strike on the golf ball, just one thing we can do here, we can get a towel. So I'm going to put this towel on the ground here, and if we can just have a look on the camera at home, the camera can come and have a little close look at this. So I can position the towel about 1.5 heads behind the golf club, and that's just a good little drill just to try and feel like coming down the golf ball. If you hit the towel, then you know you're leveling out too early, the weight might have gone back foot. So that's a good little gauge to see if you can just get that weight on your left side, try and miss the towel and get it in the net, something like that. That's a good one for strike, just to feel like you're hitting down the golf ball. So hopefully there, guys, a few little drills which you can try around the house to build some confidence for the chipping, which I think is really important. I love that drill just because I think it's amazing every time I've done that drill with ladies at the range during our LLG sessions. It's amazing how much you're clattering faster and gives you the awareness of that club coming inside. So kitchen rollout, sticks, bit of glue tack, and see if you can create that in the front room. Give that a go and let us know how you get on with the chicken. So hope you enjoyed that session tonight. Thank you again to all our new subscribers to the website. Hope you're enjoying this content. We've got plenty more coming up in the next few weeks to keep you all active. Thank you as well to the ladies who